What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the biggest and most exciting upcoming movies. Let's jump right in. The Evil Dead franchise is showing absolutely no signs of slowing down, and fans of brutal, blood-soaked horror have a lot to be excited about. Following the release of Evil Dead Burn in July 2026, a brand new Evil Dead movie is already officially in development, signaling that the franchise's momentum is stronger than ever. According to industry reports, the upcoming installment will be written and directed by Francis Galuppi, the filmmaker behind The Last Stop in Yuma County. Galuppi's involvement suggests a fresh creative direction, while still staying true to the franchise's intense and visceral horror roots. The film has reportedly assembled a strong ensemble cast, including Charlotte Hope, Jessica McNamee, Zach Gilford, and Josh Hellman, along with several new faces joining the universe. As with previous entries, plot details are being kept tightly under wraps, maintaining the mystery and anticipation surrounding the story. Behind the scenes, longtime franchise producers Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert are returning, with Bruce Campbell also involved in a key producing role, ensuring continuity with the classic Evil Dead legacy. After the massive success of Evil Dead Rise, which earned over $147 million worldwide, it's clear that audiences are still hungry for this brand of relentless horror. With experienced creators returning and new talent stepping in, the next chapter of Evil Dead is shaping up to deliver more intense scares, shocking moments, and brutal horror when it finally hits theaters. DC Studios is officially moving forward with Batman the Brave and the Bold, and the project just took a major step. Screenwriter Christina Hodson has been hired to write the script, which is huge news for the new DC universe being led by James Gunn and Peter Safran. Hodson is already familiar with DC, having written Birds of Prey and The Flash, and she also gained praise for Bumblebee, which focused heavily on character and emotion. That gives fans hope that this Batman won't just be about action, but also about strong storytelling and emotional depth. This version of Batman will be completely separate from Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, and will introduce Damian Wayne as Robin, exploring the complex father-son relationship between Bruce and Damian. Andy Muschietti is still attached to direct, keeping creative consistency behind the scenes. While casting and release dates haven't been revealed yet, this film is expected to be a cornerstone of the new DCU. Even before the first season has officially premiered, HBO is already moving forward with Season 2 of It, Welcome to Derry, a clear sign of the network's strong confidence in the series. Early development on a second season suggests that HBO views the project as a major long-term investment within its horror lineup. Welcome to Derry serves as a prequel to Andy Muschietti's It films, expanding the mythology of Stephen King's infamous town decades before Pennywise ever crossed paths with the Losers Club. The series explores Derry's disturbing past, revealing how cycles of fear, violence, and supernatural evil have haunted the town across generations. The show is designed as a multi-season anthology, with each season expected to focus on a different era in Derry's dark history. This approach allows the story to dig deeper into the town's mythology, while introducing new characters, timelines, and terrifying events with every chapter. Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti remain closely involved as executive producers, helping maintain the same tone, atmosphere, and visual identity that define the blockbuster films. While HBO has not revealed any specific plot details or release plans for Season 2, the early development signals that the network sees It, Welcome to Derry, as a major pillar in its horror universe. The highly anticipated sequel, The Beekeeper 2, is officially moving forward, and fans now have a confirmed release window to look forward to. Amazon MGM Studios has scheduled the film for a January 15, 2027 theatrical release, once again landing on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, the same time frame that helped the first film find success. Jason Statham returns as Adam Clay, reprising his role as the relentless former operative known as the Beekeeper. The sequel is expected to continue the high-octane blend of espionage, revenge, and brutal hand-to-hand combat that made the original film a surprise hit with audiences. While detailed plot information is still being kept under wraps, early reports and casting confirmations suggest several familiar faces will return, alongside new additions that will expand the world of the franchise. The first Beekeeper delivered strong box office performance and quickly gained attention for its stylish action and no-nonsense intensity.
With a locked release date and Jason Statham back in the lead, The Beekeeper 2 is shaping up to be a bigger and more intense follow-up, promising even more explosive action and high-stakes thrills when it arrives in theaters in 2027.
Primitive War 2 is officially on the way, and this time, the danger is escalating to an entirely new level. Following the cult attention surrounding the first film, the sequel is now in active development, signaling a much bigger and more ambitious return to the franchise's brutal world. Creator Luke Spark is returning to write, direct, and produce the sequel, ensuring creative continuity behind the scenes. Based on the novel series, Primitive War is known for its unique blend of Vietnam War combat and prehistoric survival horror, throwing soldiers into a nightmare where modern warfare collides with deadly dinosaurs. According to early details, Primitive War 2 expands the scope and mythology of the original story. Set after the events of the first film, the sequel follows a new U.S. platoon sent deep into an unstable conflict zone where rival apex predators, overlapping kill zones, and hidden Cold War agendas threaten to spiral out of control. Luke Spark has described the sequel as darker, more intense, and more grounded, shifting the focus from discovery to survival. With higher stakes, expanded world building, and a stronger war epic tone, Primitive War 2 is shaping up to be a bold evolution of the franchise as it moves toward a planned 2027 release.
The chaos is officially turning up in Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, and fans of dark, savage horror have plenty to be excited about. The upcoming sequel has now secured an R rating, confirming that the filmmakers are fully embracing the same brutal, blood-soaked tone that made the original a cult favorite. The R rating is reportedly due to strong violence, graphic bloody content, and intense language, signaling that nothing is being toned down for the follow-up. The first Ready or Not earned praise for its vicious mix of horror, dark comedy, and social satire, and the sequel appears ready to push those elements even further. Returning to direct are Matt Bettinelli-Open and Tyler Gillette, the duo behind the original film, ensuring tonal and stylistic continuity. Samara Weaving is also expected to return as Grace, the survivor whose nightmarish wedding turned into one of modern horror's most memorable survival stories. While plot details are still being kept tightly under wraps, the subtitle, Here I Come, hints at a more aggressive and possibly revenge-driven chapter that expands the twisted world introduced in the first film. With no official release date announced yet, Ready or Not 2 is shaping up to deliver exactly what fans want: sharper humor, bigger scares, and unapologetically brutal horror.
The Paranormal Activity franchise is officially making a return, and the long-running horror series is once again heading back to the big screen. Paramount Pictures has confirmed that Paranormal Activity 8 is scheduled for an early summer 2027 theatrical release, bringing the iconic found-footage franchise back after several years away. The new installment is being developed in collaboration with Blumhouse Productions and Atomic Monster, the production company founded by James Wan. This partnership signals a renewed focus on what made the franchise so successful in the first place: grounded scares, slow-burn tension, and terrifying supernatural moments built through atmosphere rather than spectacle. As expected, plot details are being kept tightly under wraps, and no cast or director has been officially announced yet. However, early reports suggest the film will continue to reinvent the Paranormal Activity formula, much like previous entries that explored different timelines, families, and supernatural mythologies. The Paranormal Activity franchise remains one of the most profitable horror series in film history, known for delivering massive box office returns on extremely modest budgets. With Blumhouse and Atomic Monster now involved, expectations are high that the eighth entry will balance franchise legacy with a fresh creative direction. With its 2027 release now locked, Paranormal Activity 8 is shaping up to deliver the next wave of chilling, slow-burn supernatural terror for longtime fans and new audiences alike. Universal Pictures is reportedly exploring a return to the Mummy universe, sparking renewed excitement around one of the studio's most iconic adventure horror franchises. According to industry reports, the studio has shown interest in bringing back Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, potentially reconnecting the modern era with the franchise's earlier success. Johnson famously portrayed the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns before headlining the standalone Scorpion King film in 2002, a role that helped launch his Hollywood career. Sources suggest Universal sees Johnson as a familiar and powerful presence who could help reintroduce the franchise to a new generation of moviegoers. While no official deals have been confirmed, the studio is reportedly considering both The Mummy 4 and a brand new Scorpion King project as part of a broader revival strategy.
The goal appears to be blending large-scale action, mythology, and classic adventure horror elements into a more unified cinematic direction. At this stage, everything remains in early discussions, with no confirmed writers, directors, or release timelines announced. However, if these plans move forward, fans could soon see the return of ancient curses, epic battles, and legendary characters that once defined the franchise. For now, the projects remain unconfirmed, but the possibility alone has reignited interest in seeing The Mummy and Scorpion King rise again on the big screen.
A new high-stakes thriller starring Keanu Reeves is officially on the way, and it's shaping up to be one of his most intense projects yet. The upcoming film, titled Shiver, has now secured a theatrical release date of August 13, 2027, marking another major addition to Reeves' action-driven filmography. Shiver is directed by Tim Miller, the filmmaker behind Deadpool and Terminator Dark Fate, bringing his signature mix of sharp visuals and fast-paced intensity to the project. The film is based on a novel and is described as a survival thriller set in extreme and dangerous conditions, focusing on isolation, endurance, and the will to survive. While full plot details are still being kept under wraps, early descriptions suggest a tense, grounded story driven by physical performance and emotional pressure. With Keanu Reeves in the lead, audiences can expect a character pushed to his limits, relying on instinct, resilience, and sheer determination. Tim Miller's involvement hints at a strong balance between suspense, action, and character-focused storytelling, rather than over-the-top spectacle. As production continues quietly behind the scenes, Shiver is already gaining attention as a serious, gritty thriller that could stand out among upcoming action films. With a proven director and one of Hollywood's most consistent stars teaming up, Shiver is definitely a movie fans should keep on their radar as its 2027 release approaches.
Fans of the Spider-Man universe may have to wait a little longer to see Spider-Woman make her solo debut on the big screen. According to multiple industry reports, Sony Pictures has scrapped the planned Spider-Woman spin-off, which had been quietly in development for some time. The project was never officially announced, but it was widely reported that Olivia Wilde was attached as director, sparking excitement among fans. Details about the story were kept tightly under wraps, though rumors suggested the film could have focused on characters like Jessica Drew or Julia Carpenter. Jessica Drew was considered a strong possibility due to her sharp personality and sarcastic tone, which would have fit well with Wilde's directing style following her success with Booksmart. Wilde herself had previously hinted in interviews that she was working on a top-secret Marvel-related project, adding fuel to the speculation. While hopes were high for Spider-Woman to become a key part of Sony's expanding Spider-Man universe, the latest reports indicate that the project is now off the table, at least for the foreseeable future. Industry insiders suggest Sony may instead be shifting its strategy, potentially allowing Spider-Man-related characters to appear more directly within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For now, Spider-Woman's solo story has been paused indefinitely, leaving fans waiting to see when and where the character might finally make her live-action debut. Though disappointing, the door isn't completely closed, and Spider-Woman could still emerge in a future MCU project.
Fans of hard-hitting action can get ready because Roadhouse 2 is officially on the way. Following the success of the 2024 remake, the sequel is now deep into production and is expected to release later this year or early next year on Prime Video. Jake Gyllenhaal returns as Dalton, the former UFC fighter turned bouncer, continuing the brutal, no-nonsense action that defined the first film. According to producer Charles Roven, filming is nearly complete, with production expected to wrap very soon. The sequel promises to go beyond pure action, offering a deeper and more emotional story that explores who Dalton really is and what shaped him into the man audiences met in the first movie. At the same time, the film is set to raise the intensity, with even more fight sequences and the return of several real-life UFC and MMA fighters. Returning cast members include Conor McGregor, along with several familiar faces, while new additions such as Dave Bautista and other high-profile fighters are expected to elevate the action even further. The original film ended with a mid-credits tease, hinting that Dalton's story and his enemies were far from finished. With bigger action, deeper character development, and a growing cast of fighters, Roadhouse 2 is shaping up to deliver both raw brawls and emotional depth when it finally hits Prime Video. Excitement is building around Marvel's Avengers Doomsday as new rumors continue to spread online, suggesting a massive and emotional opening for the film. According to multiple insider reports and leak accounts, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man could appear right at the beginning of the movie, instantly grabbing audience attention.
The rumors claim that this version of Peter Parker may be fully CGI and involved in a large-scale battle that includes familiar villains, possibly even crossing paths with characters from other universes. Even more shocking, the leak suggests that his entire universe could be destroyed, potentially resulting in Peter Parker's death and setting an incredibly high-stakes tone for the rest of the film. If true, this would immediately establish Avengers Doomsday as a darker and more emotionally charged chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man holds enormous cultural importance, as his portrayal helped define modern superhero films when he debuted in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in 2002. His version of the character was known for focusing on responsibility, sacrifice, and personal tragedy, themes that still resonate strongly with fans today. His return in Spider-Man No Way Home proved just how beloved this incarnation remains, generating one of the most emotional moments in recent superhero cinema. While Marvel Studios has not officially confirmed any of these details, the possibility alone has sparked intense discussion among fans. If Maguire truly plays a role in Avengers Doomsday, his appearance could serve as a powerful emotional catalyst, raising the stakes and reminding audiences what it truly means to be a hero.
Big news is brewing in the world of Game of Thrones as HBO continues to expand the universe of Westeros with multiple ambitious new projects. According to early reports, the network is actively developing a sequel series set after the events of the original show, signaling that the story of Westeros is far from over. Initial concepts for the sequel reportedly focused on Jon Snow, exploring his life beyond the Wall. However, that darker version of the story was ultimately scrapped, and HBO is now exploring a fresh creative direction, with strong hints that Arya Stark could take on a central role in the new series. Parts of the story may take place outside Westeros, potentially venturing into Essos, tying directly into Arya's open-ended journey at the conclusion of the original series. While the project is still in early development, it has strong backing from HBO, suggesting long-term plans for the franchise. Alongside the sequel series, HBO is also considering a major adaptation of Aegon's Conquest, the legendary story of how Aegon the Conqueror united the Seven Kingdoms using dragons and fire. It remains unclear whether this project will become a feature film or a new series, but fans can expect a massive, epic-scale story if it moves forward. Meanwhile, House of the Dragon is set to return for its third season, featuring the long-anticipated Battle of the Gullet. Showrunner Ryan Condal and George R.R. Martin remain closely involved, with a fourth and final season already confirmed. With sequels, prequels, and spin-offs all in motion, Game of Thrones is clearly entering a new era, promising more political intrigue, epic battles, and dragon-filled spectacle in the years ahead.